So I've gone from being an operational manager to a leader. So if I say, are you a leader? Yeah, how many staff you got? I've got a client who has 53 staff. Are you a leader? Oh, no. So the identity of a leader is not there, right?
This is the Game Changers Experience. Deep dive conversations with leading business disruptors, Olympic athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and influencers from around the world. This show will teach you insights about the winning principles in mindset, productivity, marketing, branding, entrepreneurship, business strategy, and more. Hosted by Productivity Authority, business strategist, former elite athlete, author, and public speaker, Adam Strong.
20% of businesses in the UK have revenues less than 300,000, right? 20% of UK businesses have revenues between 300,000 and 2 mil. And in terms of employment, under 300,000, you're employing somewhere between 1.7 and 2.4 staff members. So it's yourself and maybe a part-timer.
Right.
But when you get to about 300,000, you employ somewhere between 3 to 20 employees, right? So the revenue per person is like 100 grand. So it's a good metric for most businesses, right? If your revenues are greater than 300,000, right, you're looking at about 100 grand revenue per person. So I'm working with a law firm that does 1.2 million turnover, 12 staff, great business. And I'm working with an accounting firm that has 11 staff and does 300,000 turnover. So it's not even, their revenue per person is not even close actually to the living wage in the UK, which is 30.4 thousand, right?
Yeah.
So the leadership question, let's come back to that. There's two parts to this. So there's a point when you're running a business where you've got the bandwidth for running a business and doing the operational up to about 6 employees. And it's up to 6, you can do your own work and you can supervise what your team are doing, right?
Agreed.
When you get about the 7th person, there's a mindset shift, and it really, really amplifies around the 12th person, right? As soon as you employ the 13th person, as Dan likes to say, Jesus, when the Jesus Inc. was great at 12, as soon as they put the 13th guy on, it went all pear-shaped, right? Look what happened, right? But there's something mentally, it's not money, it's an emotional thing that happens around about the 6th or 7th employee, because where you could all muck in, as a business owner, you can't do that over about 7. You don't have the mental bandwidth for it, right? So there's this gear change from managing and doing operational stuff, where you then have to become more strategic, right? Which means you've got to step back. Now, a lot of people don't want to step back from doing something they love doing, right? And they're frightened to do that. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have that problem around probably about the 6-7 employee bit. And at that point, that's when they start asking me to get involved, and they start reading leadership books. And firstly, they read a lot of management books, then they start looking at leadership books, because the gear changes from operational thinking to strategic thinking. So where they go wrong, firstly, is they hang on to the operational far too long.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, a big thing is, there's 4 things that underpin any business, and that is sales and marketing, or marketing and sales, sorry, your management admin, your operations, and your financial control. And when, as a business coach, I look at what's going on in those 4 key aspects of the business, right?
Sure.
And particularly around HR is part of the management admin, and things like your logistics and IT is part of operations and that. But a big part of operations is systemizing. So again, a lot of leaders don't have anything systemized. If they've got recurring linear business systems, none of that's documented. So they've got to hold it in their head. So a lot of leaders don't have the bandwidth to lead, because they haven't thought, well, to grow this, I've got to systemize it. And Dan talks about, out of your systems come your assets. And then you really can scale. You can then grow it, and you can pivot and grow and scale, and you go in divisions, things like that. It really comes in when you get to about 12 employees. That's when leadership really kicks off. You can afford a coach, and there's a lot of coaches out there who don't understand what I'm telling you right now, right? They don't get this, and they've never run a business. They've never employed people. They've read a lot of books, but they haven't actually had to come up with 35 grand a month payroll, for example, right? So there's all of those issues around it. But for me, that's the first part. It's that gear change from operational
Transition.
to strategic, and it's a reluctance to let go of the operations and do what's required strategically, which is to create systems, right? So I'll give you 2 points here. It's a big answer, but most leaders, if you're in a leadership role, there's really 5 things I'm looking at when I'm coaching executives, when I'm coaching leaders. Number one, if you're the CEO, and you mentioned CEOs, the remit for a CEO is, number one, strategic direction. We know where we're going, right? The operational stuff is a different thing, but I am telling you where we're going with this. Strategic direction. That's the first one. Second one is business performance. So they've got to know the metrics. They've got to know what does good look like and how do we measure that, right? So the third one is operational excellence. So if you want to grow anything, you've got to be able to demonstrate operational excellence. The fourth one is a high-performing team. And the last one is impeccable communication. And so when I'm coaching CEOs, I'm coaching across those 5 dynamics because they're really pragmatic and they're very practical. And I can go hunting in each of those 5 areas for where we need to pick up skill, or we need to change behaviors, or we might need to change their beliefs, or we might have to have an identity change. So I've gone from being an operational manager to a leader. So if I say, are you a leader? Yeah, how many staff you got? I've got a client who has 53 staff. Are you a leader? Oh, no. So the identity of a leader is not there, right? So sometimes I've got to change the identity.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I would love to hear from you guys. Please do me a favor, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click on the notification bell button below so that you don't miss out on some of the episodes that we've got coming up. Also, please make a comment in the comment section below. We are reaching out to some of our listeners so that we can get to an understanding about how we can personalize some of the great content that we got coming out based on your needs and aspirations. Another word of advice as well is to go to our amazing Facebook community where you can meet other creative entrepreneurs and business owners. Introduce yourself, say hi, mention about some of the amazing breakthroughs that you're getting through some of the episodes, and network, right? Grow your business. You are with who you become with the 5 most common people you hang around with. So listen, guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.